Three news stories for you viewers. Firstly, Ethiopian government supporters have held some demonstrations in Washington DC against expected US sanctions on Ethiopia. While Ethiopian government issued a very strong statement against Joe Biden's executive order about upcoming US sanctions on Ethiopia. Behind the scenes, Ethiopian government is lobbying in the US. It's trying to mobilize its supporters in the US as well. It wants the US government to review its decision of imposition of more sanctions on Ethiopia. We'll talk about that. Second, viewers, 3 days ago, I informed you about ENDF's offensive towards Kobo and Lalibela. Airstrikes were also conducted near Kobo and Lalibela. Now we have an update from Lalibela, who is in control of this town. Is TDF in full control of this town? Where are Amhara regional forces? We have some updates from Lalibela. Thirdly, Tigray Defense Force has captured some more weapons. It has shared pictures of newly captured weaponry, which includes an anti-aircraft gun manufactured in 2021. I'll share pictures of some captured weapons by TDF. Lastly, viewers, I want to share golden words of Isaias Afwerki with you. I saw an old video of Isaias Afwerki yesterday. I thought of sharing it with you. Firstly, viewers, Ethiopian government supporters have held demonstrations in Washington, D.C. in front of US State Department. Ethiopian government supporters want the US government to review its decision of sanctions on Ethiopian government. In coming days, Joe Biden government is set to impose more sanctions on Ethiopian government. Last week, Joe Biden issued an executive order authorizing his finance and other ministries to impose sanctions on Ethiopia in case of continuation of hostilities in Tigray and Amhara. Now, while Ethiopian government issued a very strong statement against this Joe Biden's executive order, behind the scenes, Ethiopian government is trying to do some lobbying. It has mobilized its diaspora there. It wants Joe Biden government to review its decision of imposing sanctions because Ethiopian economy is in serious trouble, viewers. International institutions are warning that Ethiopian economy is under severe stress. Can this economy counter this new upcoming sanctions, especially if PM Abiy's government launched a new offensive on Tigray, which it might in October. Ethiopian finance minister 2 days ago called for peace. He knows how Ethiopian economy is doing. So that is why I think that Ethiopian government is trying its best to avert these sanctions somehow. Watch a clip showing protests in front of US State Department in Washington, D.C. yesterday. Then we'll talk about Lalibela. Because 3 days ago, I told you about ENDF and Amhara forces launching an offensive towards Kobo and an attack towards Lalibela. Heavy airstrikes were conducted in the vicinity of Kobo and Lalibela. Status of the surroundings of Kobo is still not clear, but we have an update from Lalibela. Tigray Defense Force has repelled ENDF Amhara attack on Lalibela. Lalibela is under full control of Tigray Defense Force. Amhara forces, they managed to enter Lalibela, but they had to withdraw. They suffered losses. Now Amhara news sources are saying that Tigray Defense Force is targeting civilians after this attempt by Amhara forces to retake Lalibela. But we don't know about civilians targeted in Lalibela, but we do know that Amhara forces, they had to withdraw. They could not retake Lalibela. Lalibela is under full control of Tigray Defense Force. Thirdly, some pictures of newly captured weaponry are being shared by Tigray-backed news sources. You can see the pictures. The first picture shows an MLRS multiple launch rocket system newly taken, newly seized by Tigray Defense Force. Now it seems that TDF has several MLRS. Secondly, you can see a howitzer. It's an artillery piece. It has also been seized by Tigray Defense Force. Thirdly, you can see an anti-aircraft gun, ZU-23-2. It's a new ZU-23-2. It was manufactured in 2021, viewers. So yes, it seems that TDF is managing to seize some new weapons of Ethiopian National Defense Force as well. Lastly, viewers, golden words of Isaias Afwerki. I happened to find an old video of Isaias Afwerki, and this video tells what Isaias thinks of elections of democracy. Or the video, viewers. Thank you for watching.
Okay, now let's look at the domestic political situation in Eritrea. When are elections going to be held in Eritrea? There were elections scheduled for 2001. They didn't take place. When is that going to happen?
What elections?
Elections in Eritrea.
We'll see what the elections in the United States will bring about, and we will wait for about 3-4 decades until we see genuine natural situations emerge in Eritrea.
You're saying Eritrea is going to wait 3 or 4 decades before it holds elections?
Maybe more, who knows?
But isn't
that,
it...
of course, depending on what you call elections, what you believe in elections, what you think in terms of elections. If it